Good morning, everyone. It's March 23rd, and I thought a screencast-o-matic to kind of walk you through what we're doing today and this week wouldn't be a bad idea. So let me just make sure you know we are on to um, the Creative Nonfiction Project, and by this point, and you'll see in our classroom announcement, by this point, you should be finished with the poetry pitch. If you did not send me the screencast-o-matic pitches by last Friday, that was an automatic 0 for the oral presentation. And then I'm going back in and just double checking word choice grades. And if that doesn't sound like you anything that you've heard of, you need to make sure you're checking Google Classroom. Go back down to the announcements that I put in before today and follow the directions. And I think for the most part, screencast-o-matic wasn't too bad. There were some technical difficulties, but that may have been just I don't know, like the way you downloaded it or saved it. So today during Google Hangouts, if you had trouble, please just let me know and I can make a list of people I need to go back and look at. You should have completed the creative nonfiction entry event. I'm going to compile those for an activity we'll do on Wednesday. In addition to some other things we'll do on Wednesday, it's not going to be that stressful. But again, please make sure you are staying on top of things, not just with my class, but with every class. It's already a very just unique, kind of bizarre situation that I don't think will end very soon at all. So you do not want to be stressed, and you want to make sure you finish the year and you're able to go on to the next grade next year. Okay, so today I want to make sure you understand where all of the things I need you to look at are. We will read Myth of the Latin Woman in order to study structure and development. This all again is continuing at checkpoint 1. So that's where we are right now in the project. You will find all the things that we need for today is in Summit, and they're on Google Classroom. So I'm trying to make this as easy as possible. That way you're not lost without me. So we've done these things. We worked from these stations last week. And now we're on to, I've clicked structure and development presentation. It's up here. I'm going to show you what that is. But you're working in the actual checkpoint. Everything else will be attached on Google Classroom. This is the actual checkpoint. So when you opened the checkpoint, you were probably a little lost. We hadn't gotten to this story yet. Basically, just paste in all the things we did from the entry event into this checkpoint somewhere so I can at least see them. Then today we will work on step 1. We're just going to work with step 1 today. Step 2 will be on or by Wednesday at some point. So you kind of have a little bit of homework to get ready for Wednesday. You'll use this source. This is the presentation I was telling you about. It basically just runs through structure and development and what you should see in a creative nonfiction text. I'm not going to go through all of it. Some of this should be a little bit of a review, but really we're reading the myth of the Latin woman to look at the structure, how things are told, how things are organized in the story. And you'll know what I mean after you read it. There's a certain organization that she uses. So anytime we read a story, obviously there's development in the characters, events, and ideas. And this is the analysis paragraph that you will eventually write when you finish everything that checkpoint 1 has, or when you finish the analysis today. You will essentially be finished with checkpoint 1 once you get this paragraph. Another way this is going to be accomplished is through annotation. And so I'm going to ask you to do something like this in order to write that paragraph. So when you read The Myth of the Latin Woman, you'll find that she kind of organizes her stories in a chunk. Like there's going to be an anecdote, there's going to be some imagery, and you'll see in my key up there, there's going to be a reflection after the anecdote. And if you're not sure what an anecdote is, that's simply like a story within a story. It's a short story within a story. So in The Myth of a Latin Woman are all these little interwoven stories and reflections after them. So I really like this story because it kind of tries to debunk a lot of like myths of Latin women. stereotypes of Latin women. So that's one thing she likes to reflect on is how she's treated or how she's approached, and then a reflection. What you're looking for is devices that she uses in order to get to that point, get to that reflection, convey a theme, and that is where the analysis comes through. So the analytical paragraph will just organize those ideas that you come up with. I don't want you to copy mine and say, this is it, because I don't want to be rereading mine over and over again. And obviously, that's plagiarism, but your structure will need to follow mine. So we always start with that thesis statement. And that is one thing I want you to make sure you have pretty much the exact structure. Just borrow mine and put in your own devices and put in your own theme. But you need to introduce the story. You need to introduce the author's name. It's going to help the reader understand what exactly you're analyzing. So hopefully that helps. I'm not going to attach this. I think that just is maybe an easy way out, too much of an easy way out for some of you, but you have the example paragraph in the slideshow. This is going to be, though, in this video, so you can always go back to it. And if you are absolutely struggling, then I can pull it up in a Zoom or a Google Hangout or whatever. So hopefully this helps. The Myth of a Latin Woman is a PDF, so you can't write on it. But I encourage you to get Cami or some other app that you can annotate it on, or I would just copy and paste it into, like I did, a Google Doc. Maybe try to find another text that's not a PDF. Just Google "Myth of a Latin Woman" by Judith Ortiz Cofer and see what you find. But this is the text we'll be reading this week. Not too long. The font's really small, and it's a PDF file. If you have any questions after watching this or after listening to this, you need to just go on Google Hangout. I'm going to go ahead and post a Google Hangout link. I'm going to post all these resources right now, right before class starts. But hopefully this helps you because you can replay this as many times as you need. All right, let me know if you have any questions. As always, I don't care if it's a text, email at this point. I just want to make sure that you're doing okay. All right, check in with me from time to time and let me know you're